Alrighty, welcome in everyone. We've got Gonk the Great and Neza supposedly doing some sneaky strats. We shall see if that is the case. Supposedly it is. We've got solar panels coming out. Nice, nice. This map's not too bad on wind, but it is a little bit worse than glitters. So, solar panels are excellent to see. We got Gonk kind of planning for a vehicle bay for about 5 seconds there. Then switching to bot lab. Nice to see. 2v1 OP. Alright, let's go ahead and speed up the opening a bit here. Opening with one constructor from Neza, a couple ticks, and a constructor. Going for some of these back mexes. L extractor's OP every time. Looks like yellow just snuck a couple rovers by. They will get likely shut down. Actually, it looks like he escapes barely. Will he get to the back line? No, sniped. Flower power. Missing the action here. Yeah, that's... Oh! Misses it! The pawn just barely doesn't catch that rover, but there's another one here, so... Wow, the jukes, though. This guy's jukes are completely on point right now. A little bit of dancing on the front line as we speak. 5 head and Rowan Morse. Wow, look at this. Look at this little rover putting in the work. The OP micro taking out that constructor. Looks like, yep, constructor's down. There it is. That's actually huge, honestly. Really sucks. Couple more constructors coming out. That rover's still getting value. Or rascal, I guess. Still getting value. Closing solar panel. My goodness, they just can't get enough of him. Lots of leaking happening here. I'm kind of surprised how much there is. Look at this. Just a giant ball of units going by here. They're gonna get huge value, of course. I guess they only wiped one constructor here. This guy's lucky he didn't build anything. Front lines are starting to form. We've got our first thug out. I'm not gonna be playing another one, guys. I am casting this game and then we'll be finished for the evening. Oh man, value galore over here. He's probably gonna get this constructor too. Except for he went AFK. Get him! Yeah, get that constructor! Beautiful. Gotta walk up on him. You didn't get the DPS, bro. Missed opportunity. Resign. Gonk with the resign vote already. Just because of the massive amount of leaking happening on this match. Crazy. Okay, we're going to zoom forward as the lines get more established here. We got rocket bots coming out, looks like. Rocket bots versus thugs can be a very difficult trade, as the rocket bots have a bit of a range advantage and move almost the exact same speed as the thug. These light laser turrets providing even more damage to Neza. You can't really push and you can't really fall back. It's just a pretty tough position. Here, Gonk bails on his turret, running back due to the Whistler meta. Flower Power has not pushed up yet with his commander. Commander's still at base. No metal extractor expansion on either side for Flower Power, so he's going to be very, very far behind on metal. And Rocketbot's getting that beautiful damage in. I feel like there's not very many res bots out, actually. Kind of surprising. I would have definitely do a few more than 3. Res bots being the best superpower of the bot factory, in my opinion. Giving you so much more value. It looks like we might be going for a calm trade here. No, we end up backing off. It's always a dangerous dance to go for that calm trade. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes you just lose all the metal. Must be done very delicately. Here, apparently we have very little vision. Yeah, almost none. Ugh, Rocketbot's just swarming in, getting incredible damage. Heavy laser turret trying to get up so that we can zone off some of these rocket bots. Keep them at bay, but we even have the metal. Yeah, we have the metal for it. That's good, at least. But do we have the time? We even have the time. It only takes probably 6 or 7 rocket bots all firing at this one turret, and the turret will fall. They're not that sturdy. Rocket bots are just so good in groups. Large clusters, they become pretty unstoppable. There's a couple things that can actually defeat them, but not that many. Things like Whistlers, they get that poke damage. And they can move decently able to keep up with a rocket bot push. And the rocket bots have to close the distance, and they don't have accurate vision, so it is a bit of a tough trade. That one laser tank escaping his fate until he hits the hill. 2v1 right here. Flower Power falling back, praying for a little bit more time here, but not really getting it. Gonka going for the risky Geo as he is being encroached upon on all sides. He did get out his T2 lab. That's why we see very little metal from him. So he is pumping out a handful of hounds. Hounds, of course, we know got a pretty decent nerf recently, so they will not be able to hold off quite as well as they might need. Let's look at their opponent. They have T2 vehicles out right now. And they are launching the Banisher lineup with the radar and jammer. Absolute demolish those Banisher missiles. Quite a large area of damage there. Locking on with that splash damage, really unstoppable. Thankfully, a bombing run is happening, and they almost take down the T2 lab, it looks like. Alright, let's see. Got just rocket bots and hounds so far, with a couple snipers coming out. We're gonna kind of speed up past this part. They're just kind of dealing with poke damage. Flower Power is still alive, which is surprising. Although Cat Lordy got a free T2 off of it. The thug push is real. It's 26 thugs. With a total of 5 kills, 6 kills, 3 kills, 2 kills, 3 kills. Pushing in. Decent damage, but I don't think they're going to be able to handle this Tsar very well. That's just going to be a nightmare. The Resbots come in, preparing for a resurrection of this rather paper-thin army. I think going for the reclaim might have been a better option. Sniper bots doing some damage. Nailing that Tsar. That does help a ton. But the question is, will it be enough? Banishers falling. Those snipers do hit hard, but they just destroy all the metal that they shoot down. I think the only thing that survives a sniper shot is a T3, really. Everything else just is eviscerated. This guy, he's dead. Bam! Just leaving behind a little metal corpse. So that is one thing you have to keep in mind if you are using snipers, is don't expect much reclaim to be left after firing. Yeah, it is decent when you're trying to do long range attacks and you know you probably won't get that metal anyway, so it can be handy. But it is an it's a side effect that a lot of people probably don't realize exists. The fact that the metal is destroyed. Commander looks ripe for the taking. Radar jammer right there. Easy pick. Gone! Kills, breaking the front line. That means they're probably trying to eco up. They are definitely communizing over here. Communizing is a word, right? I think it is. Communizing? Or communizing? Oh, Neza really struggling there. I don't think that was a valuable trade. He only wiped 2 vehicles. It was about the same worth of metal, but the fact that he lost a D-gun in case of T3, kind of a bit of a struggle there. Those salamanders, always devastating. Commander's about to go down. Gone. Cat Lordy pushing in on Flower Power. And Flower Power is about to lose all of his power. And that's gonna end up harming Gonk before he knows it. Oh, Gonk ended up, or no, Neza ended up taking the lab down here. Hopefully they'll be able to shut this down. It's T2 vehicles over here. It's gonna be quite tough. Now having two lanes to control, kind of split between them. They don't really have much to defend here. A couple snipers and some grunts. And it looks like they wiped everyone out except one. That should be an easy cleanup. It looks like Cat Lordy ended up getting pushed here. I kind of missed that. That's unfortunate. But he lost his whole base, so that will help them. They no longer really have 2 fronts to worry about. The lines are a bit unevenly drawn here. And Gonk and Neza are really doing quite well at holding. Green pushing up. This is where I like Juno missiles. They are super fantastic. I'm a huge Juno missile fan. Just because, let's see, what do they have? They have a radar tower here. That's Juno, easy. They have all these light scout vehicles. That's a Juno, easy. I guess they don't really have that much. But when you're dealing with artillery, Junos are really the best answer, in my opinion. Junos or Spam both work decently well. And it looks like we are just getting run roughshod through the center, and they have to be careful here because now Gonk is at a severe disadvantage because Fivehead, he has control of all this metal, 5,000 metal just sitting there, and they have been pushed back quite a ways. They're having to play uber defensively. They have Twin Guard going up, Scorpion going up, and the long-range artillery, which is really quite frequent that you actually have to do that. You guys may wonder, how do I survive? How do I survive when I'm getting pushed in and losing my lane? This is exactly what you have to do. You play like you're playing a game of Raptors. You get your Raptor defense on the max and prepare to hold. Fivehead doesn't have a bot lab out, so he's left with just his commander to try to get this reclaim, and I don't know that he'll be able to do that very well. I'm actually surprised that he doesn't have a bot lab going for this reclaim instantly. Green's pushing them on the side here, so that's going to cause some distraction for yellow for sure. And the gunships knocking down some of these tigers, trying to find value but getting none. Quite unfortunate. The welders have come out. We have a total of how many across the map here? Total of 17 welders and more on the way. Just welder spam. Relatively expensive units. Well, actually not that bad. I thought they were more. 350. That's something you can definitely afford. You just have to be careful if they have a lot of artillery, because they can get shut down relatively easily against artillery, as they are quite slow. But they do have a decent health of 3,000, so. Banisher at almost 2,000. Yeah, it looks like we are dealing with a little bit of ecoing here on both sides. We're gonna speed up. Just a little bit of spam. They're focusing on that E2 defense there. Couple pop-up turrets. Honestly, I'm very surprised from Fivehead. I feel like he has the advantage. He's at a total of 80 metal income. Nez is at 70. Gonk says 70. Rowan's at 100. So they definitely have a metal advantage right now. And they're also getting pushed on this side. So that's kind of where I was just feeling like Fivehead should be pushing instead of playing so defensively. Like these are quite defensive positions, but you know, to each their own, I suppose. Maybe I just am a little bit more of an aggressive player, I don't know. Because it's especially important if you see your team is losing on the other side of the map to play more aggressive, I think, if you have the potential to win it. Get mobile artillery, mobile aggression. Counter artillery. Knocking out that T2 metal extractor. And it looks like this is going to be the end of the game here. It's going to be tough to shut down all of these units, especially since most of what they have is just light units. Hurricane getting some value. With no follow-up. Too little, too late. The Banishers come pushing in. Unfortunately, they have a lot of spam to fight through. And they are getting quite bad trades, it looks like. They lost 3 or 4 Banishers while getting very little actual benefit from it. Gunships coming in. What shenanigans do they have planned? Taking out the persecutor. The bulwark. Quite a tough fight. But with this many welders, it's gonna be hard hard for anyone to stop this. This is just so much HP here. 14 times 3. Some 30-something HP. 30-something thousand HP right there. Quite a lot. Honestly, quite good at steamrolling static defense. And doing decent damage as well. And that's gonna be GG right there. Quite an impressive push. They have one more bulwark coming up, but will it be enough? They have a lot of health behind it, so the repairs are doing quite nicely to keep it alive, but those build turrets are slowly getting pushed down. Across the map, things are going not so greatly. And this is where Gonk and Neza are making proper use of those resbots, resurrecting everything while they're focused. Good hold. And good push. Honestly, an impressive hold. Do we get more welders coming? Yes, we do. Welders on repeat. And Neza switching over to the air. That will be perfect for OP bombing runs. They don't really have a ton of vision of where the economies are at. But right now it does look like blue team has a significant metal advantage at this point. 800 compared to 650. And that's with most of these units being rezzed. If they were reclaiming, I'm sure it would jump it up to closer to 1,000, 1,500. Yeah, look at this. Up to 1,200 just on the reclaim. And another welder army coming in. Once again, 20 welders. 20 times 3. 20 times 3,000. Look at 60,000 HP you have to stop right here. It's a lot to ask. Really curious how much metal it's worth. I mean, this is right here, 6,000 metal. 20 is 7,000 metal. That's not that much, honestly. And a full bulwark has 9,000 HP. So I don't know. They're if you dump most of your metal into welders, you have more HP than 2 bulwark, and that's about the same cost. It's just you do have a very slow movement. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if someone has tried like an eco position on, say, glitters, and just spamming out large quantities of welders across the map early to see if they can just end the game through a welder spam because of just the sheer HP that they produce. Because that is relatively cheap HP. Quite impressive. I'm gonna get myself a little screenshot here. Maybe I'll get a different angle, actually. I want to see their menacing faces. Here we go. Yeah, I think this is probably going to be a resign relatively soon. I did not see how red and yellow recover from this. They probably should have kept pushing, honestly. Look at this line. Oh my goodness, someone's fully committed. Fully committed to... How many does he have right now? He has a total of 64. Oh my goodness. They have less HP than a tank, but the tanks cost more metal. If you combine the cost of the tank with the cost of the welder, I think the welder has more HP per metal value. That is interesting. You would think that a line of tanks would be able to hold quite well against welder spam, but it may not be the case. Excellent to see these butlers pushing in and reclaiming lots of metal on the battlefield. 8,000. Going to be quite a juicy reclaim here. Neza coming in with the OP resurrections. Green pushing in on one side. All the blues coming in at full force. And we got a failed resign vote somehow. I think maybe Fivehead has some ambitious plans. But will it be enough? Will it be enough? The DPS of one Tiger is 150. The DPS of one Welder is 130. And the Tiger costs twice as much as the Welder. So the DPS and the HP of the Welder will outshine a Tiger tank. Just an insane quantity of welders coming in. Commander gone. Ooh, a nuclear missile. Boom, really wiping out nothing but resbots. Honestly, that was a last-ditch effort to make something happen. Oh, man. What a GG. Oh, there's a long-range plasma. Okay, I did not see that. But that's gonna be a good game there with the resign from the red team. Excellent showing off the skill of the welder and the value that you can find with them. Anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments what you guys think of welders and let me know if you guys would like to try this strategy. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. We'll see you guys on the battlefield.